What's going on, guys? Arkin here with an episode of What Went Wrong. On today's episode, we discuss what went wrong with Elder Scrolls Online, aka ESO. The Elder Scrolls is a classic. It's deep, amazing game franchise with so much lore from the first game in Skyrim. It will take you a very long time to read. So you'll think an RPG with so much lore will be great for an MMO, right? Well, that's what we thought, and we first heard of ESO. We got so hyped about it because we're going to get the chance to experience the Elder Scrolls franchise with our friends. But right from the jump, ESO was not the game we had in mind. Visually was nowhere near impressive or even worth mentioning, which was weird because we praised Skyrim so much for its visuals, though we were ignorant, assuming ESO would also be this graphically amazing game. I say ignorantly because fact of the matter is, MMOs are never graphical marvels. They aren't. MMOs are massive worlds requiring a lot of rendering and other things, making it to where you have to sacrifice graphics in order to support the very demanding game. So we then expected this to be a great storytelling game because everything in Elder Scrolls is steeped in story, and the story is always told amazingly. In ESO, the story is dull and uninteresting. Nothing about it captures you. It doesn't capitalize on the lore the game series has, and it kind of seemed half-assed. This game also kind of screwed itself with its business practices as well. For one, offering people the option to use any race and any faction for lore reasons, that's wrong. Like, you might think of it as, oh, that's a cool thing. It's not, because of the lore. It's pretty much, it's also a cash grab too, so it fucks the lore, and it's also a money grab. You know, you spend a little extra money and you get the option to fuck up the lore. So for those of you who aren't aware of the lore, you probably say, like, I don't understand, how does it mess with the lore? Now see, imagine you're playing the game and you see someone who's a Nord and they're an army Dominion, which is beyond silly because Altmeri hates Nords with a burning passion, and Nords feel the same way about the Altmeri Dominion. So you can't go anywhere in Skyrim without a Nord mentioning their hate for the Dominion. So you get that in your head. You have a race that hate the other race inside the same faction as a race that hate each other. So it's weird, you know. You get like High Elves and the Daggerfall Covenant. It fucks with the lore that we already knew before ESO was even thought of, and that's the problem. You can't fuck with lore. If it's there, it's there. You can't just like throw in a business practice so you get an extra few dollars and then screw over what the lore is. And then you have the launching as a subscription-based game, and then switches free to play. That's also something that fuck with the game business-wise. So this is a game that had issues both marketing-wise and in-game. But with all that said, if you take a second look at this game, it isn't terrible. A lot of us, including myself, make it seem like this game is hot garbage, but it's playable. It is decent. It is a game that had a few things been done differently, it would be a great game and could be considered the best console MMO to release thus far. You know, yes, I know it's also on PC, but it can never grab the same mantle as World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft owns that mantle being the best MMO. But on consoles, if everything was done right for Elder Scrolls Online, it could have been the best console MMO. So what about its microtransactions? There are some fine microtransactions, but there are also some bad ones. And the bad one is subjecting factions-based crafting abilities to microtransactions and throwing, becoming a vampire or werewolf into being a microtransaction. Now, you can become a werewolf or vampire in game without microtransactions, but it's extremely complicated, not guaranteed to happen, and it's really a very time-taking thing to do. And the only other way besides those two ways is to have someone else who already is a vampire or werewolf making themselves. Which is terrible because the community is too toxic for that to just be a natural occurrent thing to do. And if you ask another player to make you a vampire or werewolf, they'll tell you they only do it if you join their guild or give them a large amount of money. So basically you have to pay other players with your in-game currency or join their guild to be made a vampire or werewolf, or you can go spend X amount of money, real life money, to buy a microtransaction, become a werewolf or vampire. So you gotta be and here's another thing about the guild. Then you might be saying to yourself, who cares? Join the guild. You gotta be in a guild that you don't want to be in. So imagine you have friends who are already in a guild, and you're in the guild with your friends, and none of them are vampires. So you like, okay, let me become a vampire. And this guy says, you can only be a vampire if you join my guild. So it's like you have to abandon your friends to be in a guild you only want to be in. The community isn't making people vampires or werewolves out of good nature. They created an economy around it. And that's not a good thing at all. It's okay to have an economy in a game, but it's not good if you're using it in this way. So with that said, what went wrong with ESO? Marketing screwed it up. Lack of engaging content screwed it up. This boring story hurts it. Microtransactions shot an arrow in his knee, and the community didn't help out at all. That's it for this episode, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you all have a good day. Peace out.